Welcome to the second lesson of our English course. I'm so glad you're here, and I can't wait to dive into today's topic with you. We're going to explore personal pronouns, which are essential building blocks of the English language. To get the most out of this course, I encourage you to follow the slides carefully, take notes on the important points, and if any questions come up, don't hesitate to review the content. This is your learning journey, and engaging with the material will help solidify your understanding. Throughout this course, you will discover how personal pronouns function and why they are crucial for effective communication in English. You'll learn to identify and use them correctly, enabling you to express yourself clearly and confidently. By the end of this course, you will master the use of personal pronouns, transforming how you communicate in English. You will feel equipped to use these pronouns in various contexts, enhancing both your speaking and writing skills. Get ready for an exciting journey ahead. Let's jump right in and uncover the fascinating world of personal pronouns together. Your improvement starts now, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Let's make this a fun and informative experience. Continuing our course, let's dive into the fundamentals of personal pronouns. So, what exactly are personal pronouns? These are special words that replace the names of people, animals, or things in our conversations and writing. Think about how often we mention someone's name in a conversation. It can get repetitive, right? Instead of saying, Maria went to the store and Maria bought some apples, we can simply say, Maria went to the store and she bought some apples. Notice how using she makes the sentence smoother and easier to follow. This is one of the great benefits of personal pronouns. They help our communication flow naturally, making it more pleasant for both the speaker and the listener. Understanding personal pronouns is crucial because they are fundamental to building correct sentences in English. They help us express ourselves clearly and avoid confusion. For instance, when we say, the dog is barking, it is loud, we use it to refer back to the dog. This not only avoids repetition, but also keeps our sentences concise. As we progress through this course, you will see how mastering personal pronouns will enhance your ability to communicate effectively. In the next slide, we will explore why learning these pronouns is so essential in everyday communication. So, keep your ears open and your minds engaged as we uncover more about this vital aspect of English grammar. Moving forward in our journey, let's explore why learning personal pronouns is so important. Personal pronouns are essential in all forms of communication. You might not realize it, but we use them constantly when we speak, write, read, and listen in English. Think about a typical conversation. If I were to tell you about a friend, I wouldn't repeat their name every time I mentioned them. Instead, I would say, my friend is coming over. She will bring some snacks. Here, the pronoun she helps keep the conversation flowing smoothly and naturally. Notice how personal pronouns act as a foundation for forming sentences that sound more like native English. Without them, sentences can sound awkward and confusing. For instance, if I said, the teacher gave the homework to the teacher, that repetition can create a sense of misunderstanding. By using pronouns, we can clarify who is doing what. This clarity is crucial because personal pronouns also help differentiate between the subject and the object in a sentence. This distinction ensures that the meaning of each sentence is clear and precise. As we dive deeper into this topic, you will see how mastering personal pronouns will improve your ability to communicate effectively. In the next slide, we will break down the subject pronouns specifically, which are the building blocks of many sentences in English. So get ready to see how these pronouns work and how you can use them to express yourself more confidently. Now that we understand why personal pronouns are so important, let's focus on subject pronouns specifically. These are the pronouns that take the place of the subject in a sentence, meaning they indicate who or what is performing the action. In English, we have a few key subject pronouns: I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. For example, when I say, she is my friend, the pronoun she is the subject, performing the action of being my friend. It's interesting to notice that subject pronouns always come before the main verb in a sentence. This structure is essential for clear communication. To illustrate further, imagine you're talking about a group of friends. Instead of saying, Maria and John went to the park and Maria and John played frisbee, you would say, they went to the park and they played frisbee. Here, they replaces the names of Maria and John, making your conversation much smoother and more engaging. Subject pronouns are fundamental to forming sentences correctly. When we structure our thoughts, using these pronouns helps us convey who is doing what with clarity. For instance, saying, I love pizza is direct and clear, while saying, the person who loves pizza is me, is more cumbersome and less effective. As we continue, we will explore object pronouns, which are used differently but are equally important in ensuring our sentences make sense. So, keep this in mind as we move forward and get ready to enhance your understanding of how to use pronouns effectively in various contexts. Continuing our course, let's dive into object pronouns, which are just as crucial as subject pronouns. Remember how we discussed subject pronouns and their role in indicating who is performing the action. Object pronouns, on the other hand, are used when the person or thing is receiving the action of the verb. Think about it this way. In the sentence, I saw him yesterday, I is the subject performing the action, while him is the object receiving that action. Notice how using him instead of repeating a name makes the sentence clearer and more fluid. This structure is essential because it helps us communicate our thoughts effectively without unnecessary repetition. In English, the primary object pronouns are me, you, him, her, it, we, and them. For example, if I say, she gave me a book, the pronoun me is the object that receives the book. This helps to show the relationship between the subject and the action more clearly. You might notice that object pronouns often appear after the verb or a preposition, which is important for forming correct sentences. For instance, in the phrase, can you help us? The pronoun us comes right after the verb help, showing who needs assistance. As we move forward, keep in mind that understanding how to use object pronouns will enhance your ability to express yourself in various situations. In our next slide, we will explore the difference between subject and object pronouns, which will give you a deeper understanding of how to use them correctly in sentences. So, stay tuned as we uncover more about the fascinating world of pronouns. Moving forward in our journey, let's clarify the difference between subject and object pronouns, which is essential for constructing accurate sentences. As we have seen, subject pronouns indicate who is performing the action, while object pronouns show who is receiving the action. This distinction is crucial for effective communication. Imagine a simple example. If I say, he loves me, he is the subject pronoun, meaning he is the one who carries out the action of loving. On the other hand, me is the object pronoun, indicating that I am the one receiving that love. It's interesting to observe how this relationship between subject and object creates clarity in our sentences. If we didn't understand this difference, we might easily confuse our listeners or readers. Let's visualize it this way. You can think of the subject as the doer of the action and the object as the receiver. Picture a simple scenario where someone throws a ball. The person throwing the ball is the subject, the one doing the action. The ball, which is caught by someone else, represents the object, the one receiving the action. So, understanding this relationship helps prevent misunderstandings in communication. When you say, she called him, you clarify who is doing the calling and who is being called. This structure allows your sentences to flow smoothly and makes your meaning clear. In our next slides, we will dive deeper into specific uses of personal pronouns, including how they function in questions and negative sentences. This knowledge will further enhance your ability to communicate effectively in English. So, let's keep building on what we've learned and explore these new areas together. Now that we have distinguished between subject and object pronouns, let's focus on some unique pronouns that don't change form. The first one we'll explore is you. This pronoun is quite versatile. It can be used to refer to one person or a group of people. For example, when I say, "You are my friend," I'm speaking to one person. But if I say, "You are all invited," I'm addressing a group. Notice that you remains the same in both cases, whether it's singular or plural. This flexibility makes it easier to communicate, as you don't need to worry about changing the pronoun depending on how many people you are talking to. On the other hand, we have the pronoun it. This pronoun serves a different purpose. We use it primarily for non-human subjects, like objects, animals whose gender we don't know, or even abstract ideas. For instance, in the sentence, "It is raining," it refers to the weather, which isn't a person at all. Similarly, if I say, "I found a cat and it is very friendly," it replaces the cat, allowing us to continue the conversation without repeating the word cat. Understanding these two pronouns, you and it, helps in making your English more natural and fluid. As we move forward, we'll look at how to use personal pronouns effectively in questions and negative sentences, which will further enhance your communication skills. Keep thinking about how these pronouns fit into your conversations, and let's discover more about their functions together. Continuing our course, let's explore an interesting aspect of English related to the second-person pronoun, you. Unlike Portuguese, which has distinct forms like você for singular and vocês for plural, modern English uses you for both. This simplification makes conjugating verbs easier, but it can sometimes lead to a bit of confusion in conversation. Have you ever been in a situation where you weren't sure if someone was speaking to you or a group? It's interesting to observe that this can happen because you serves both purposes. In informal settings, especially in the southern United States, you might hear phrases like you all or the more casual y'all to specify when addressing multiple people. Similarly, you guys is another common way to indicate a group. Now, here's a fun historical fact. Did you know that English used to have the words thou for singular and you for plural, similar to how Portuguese operates? Over time, you replaced both terms, showing how language evolves. This evolution highlights how we constantly adapt our communication to fit our needs. As we move forward, we'll dive into practical exercises where you'll get to apply this knowledge. Understanding how to use you effectively will enhance your conversations and help you feel more confident in your English skills. So, let's keep building on this foundation and discover more about how we can use personal pronouns in questions and negative sentences. Moving forward in our journey, let's put our understanding of personal pronouns into practice with some exciting exercises. This is a crucial step in solidifying what we've learned about subject and object pronouns. As we've discussed, personal pronouns are essential for clear communication, so let's see how well you can apply them. In the first exercise, you'll fill in the blanks with the correct pronouns. For example, the first sentence is, "Jag am a student." You have two options, I or me. Think about what we discussed regarding subject pronouns. Since the sentence is about who is doing the action of being a student, the correct choice would be I. Next, let's look at the second sentence. She called ok yesterday. Here, your options are I or me. Remember, the pronoun should indicate who is receiving the action. In this case, me is correct, as it shows that you are the one being called. Finally, we have, they invited I to the party. This time, you can choose between us or we. Think about whether this sentence is referring to a group that includes you or whether it's about you doing the inviting. The right answer here is us, as it shows that you were invited alongside others. Notice how these exercises help you think critically about the role of each pronoun in a sentence. This kind of practice is essential for mastering English. In our next slides, we'll explore how personal pronouns function in questions and negative sentences, which will further enhance your skills. So let's dive into these exercises and see how you can apply what you've learned so far. Now that we've practiced filling in the blanks with personal pronouns, let's move on to another exercise that will help us identify the correct pronoun in different situations. This step is crucial as it reinforces our understanding of how to use pronouns effectively in conversation. In this exercise, you'll see a few sentences where you'll need to choose the right pronoun. For example, the first sentence states, John is here, Ek is happy. Here you have two options, he or him. Think about who is doing the action of being happy. Since John is the one feeling the emotion, the correct choice is he. This shows us how we use subject pronouns to indicate who is performing an action. Next, we have, I saw Maria and walk at the mall. Your options are she or her. In this case, we are talking about someone who is the object of the action, meaning they are not performing the action, but rather receiving it. Therefore, the correct answer is her, as it indicates that Maria and this person were seen by you. Lastly, look at the sentence, this is for mo. Here, you can choose between you or your. Remember, we want to identify who is the recipient of the action. Since this sentence refers to the person receiving something, you is the right choice. Notice how understanding the roles of subject and object pronouns helps clarify your communication. These exercises not only improve your grammar, but also boost your confidence in speaking. As we continue, we'll explore how to use personal pronouns in questions and negative sentences, which will be essential for more complex conversations. Let's keep up the momentum and dive deeper into using these important tools in our language. Continuing our course, we now turn our attention to how personal pronouns play a vital role in forming questions and providing clear answers in English. This is an essential skill that will elevate your communication, making it more effective and easier to understand. Have you ever asked someone a question and felt uncertain about the pronoun to use? It's interesting to observe how the right pronoun can change the clarity of a question. For instance, when we use who, we're typically referring to the subject of the question. So, if we ask, who is calling, we're inquiring about the person performing the action. The answer could be, he is calling, clearly identifying who that person is. On the other hand, when we want to ask about the object of an action, we use whom. This is a bit more formal, and you might not hear it in casual conversation, but it's still good to know. For example, if you ask, whom did you see? You are looking for the person who was seen, not the one doing the seeing. An appropriate response could be, I saw her. Notice how using whom helps us specify the recipient of the action. By practicing these structures, you'll gain confidence in your conversational skills. Remember, the way we form questions can make a big difference in how we connect with others. As we move forward, we'll explore how to use personal pronouns in negative sentences, which will further enhance your ability to communicate effectively. So, let's continue building on this foundation. Moving forward in our journey, let's explore how to use personal pronouns in negative sentences. This is a crucial aspect of English grammar that will enhance your ability to express disagreement, absence, or negation in conversations. Now, you might wonder, what does a negative sentence structure look like? Well, it follows a specific pattern. In English, the subject pronoun always comes before the auxiliary verb, which is often combined with not. For example, if we say, I am not tired, we clearly state that I do not feel tired at all. Notice how the pronoun I identifies who is experiencing the state of being tired. Let's look at another example with an auxiliary verb. When we say, she does not like coffee, we are using does as the auxiliary verb to indicate that she has a preference against coffee. This structure is straightforward. The subject pronoun she leads, followed by does, and then not. In plural forms, the structure remains the same. For instance, they are not here indicates that a group of people is absent from a location. Here, they is the subject pronoun, and are not clearly communicates their absence. It's interesting to observe that in informal speech, contractions are commonly used. Instead of saying, I am not, you might hear, I'm not. Similarly, she does not can become she doesn't, and they are not often shortens to they aren't. These contractions make conversation flow more naturally. As we continue, we will practice forming negative sentences, which will strengthen your command of English. Remember, mastering these structures is vital for clear communication, especially in everyday situations where negation is necessary. Let's keep building on this foundation together. Now that we've built a strong foundation in using personal pronouns in questions and negative sentences, let's take a fun and interactive approach to reinforce what we've learned. Moving forward in our journey, it's time for a group activity called Magic Pronoun. This exercise will not only help you practice personal pronouns, but also engage with your classmates in a dynamic way. First, I want you to form groups of 3 to 5 people. This collaboration will make the learning experience more enjoyable and allow you to share insights. Once you're in your groups, each team will receive cards that have names and pronouns written on them. Next, here's where the magic happens. Each group will create sentences using the names from the cards. Think about how we've discussed the roles of subject and object pronouns. This is your chance to apply that knowledge. For example, if you have the name Emily, you might create a sentence like, Emily loves to read. Now, after forming those sentences, it's time to switch things up. You'll replace the names with the correct personal pronouns. So for Emily loves to read, you would change it to she loves to read. This step is crucial because it helps you see how easily we can switch between names and pronouns in conversation. Finally, practice saying your sentences aloud to the entire group. This not only boosts your confidence, but also enhances your pronunciation and fluency. Notice how expressing these sentences in English feels. It reinforces your understanding of how personal pronouns function in different contexts. As we wrap up this activity, you'll be more comfortable using personal pronouns naturally. In the next slides, we'll dive into common mistakes to avoid, ensuring you communicate with clarity. So let's get started with magic pronoun and make this learning experience memorable. Moving forward in our journey, now that we've practiced using personal pronouns in various contexts, let's address a common challenge many learners face: avoiding mistakes with subject and object pronouns. This is crucial for clear communication, and being aware of these errors will help you express yourself correctly. One of the most frequent errors is confusing subject pronouns with object pronouns. Remember, the subject performs the action while the object receives it. For example, consider the incorrect sentence, me like pizza. Here, me is an object pronoun, but it's being mistakenly used as the subject. The correct way to phrase this would be, I like pizza, where I is the subject pronoun doing the liking. Isn't it interesting how just a small change can clarify your meaning? This understanding is key, especially in everyday conversations where clarity matters. Now let's look at another common error, using a subject pronoun as an object. For instance, saying, she called I is incorrect. The right way to express this is, she called me, where me is correctly used as the object of the action, receiving the call. As we continue, notice that these distinctions are vital for sounding natural and fluent in English. Next, we'll explore possessive pronouns, which will help expand your understanding further. Mastering these concepts will not only boost your confidence, but also enhance your ability to communicate effectively. So, let's dive deeper into avoiding these common pitfalls. Continuing our course, now we will introduce possessive pronouns, which are closely related to the personal pronouns we've discussed. Understanding possessive pronouns is essential because they show ownership or belonging, adding another layer to your English communication skills. Let's break this down with some simple examples. When we say I, we can express possession by adding my. So, my book indicates that the book belongs to me. Notice how this small change from I to my clearly shows who owns the book. Similarly, if we refer to you, it becomes your. For example, your car. Tell someone that the car belongs to you. It's interesting to observe how easily we can change a personal pronoun into a possessive one just by altering a single word. Now, let's look at he. When we refer to someone as he, we say his when we want to indicate possession. For instance, his house shows that the house belongs to him. This pattern holds true for all personal pronouns, allowing us to express ownership accurately. As we deepen our understanding of possessive pronouns, keep in mind that they enhance your ability to communicate personal relationships and ownership in everyday conversations. In the next slide, we will dive deeper into the specifics of possessive and demonstrative pronouns, which will provide you with even more tools for effective communication. So, as we prepare to explore this topic further, think about how you can use these possessive forms in your daily life. Whether you're talking about your belongings or describing what belongs to someone else, mastering possessive pronouns will make your speech much more natural and fluid. Let's keep going. Now that we've explored possessive pronouns and their role in expressing ownership, let's focus on some effective tips to help you memorize personal pronouns. These strategies will make it easier to recall and use them in everyday conversations. First, listening to music in English is a fantastic way to enhance your understanding. When you listen to songs, pay attention to the lyrics and how personal pronouns are used. Notice how artists incorporate pronouns to convey emotions and stories. This not only reinforces your memory, but also allows you to hear the natural rhythm of the language. Next, consider watching English videos with subtitles. This can be a fun and engaging way to spot personal pronouns in real contexts. As you watch, try to identify the pronouns in the dialogues. It's interesting to observe how they fit within different sentences and interactions. This visual and auditory combination can significantly boost your learning. Additionally, I encourage you to dedicate just 10 to 15 minutes each day for specific exercises focusing on personal pronouns. This consistent practice is key to retention. Think of it like training for a sport. The more you practice, the better you become. You can use worksheets or online quizzes to keep things fresh and challenging. Finally, nothing beats real-life conversation for truly mastering personal pronouns. Engage with friends, classmates, or even teachers, and practice using them in your discussions. Language exchange apps can be a great resource, connecting you with native speakers eager to help. As we prepare for the next slides, remember that regular practice and exposure to the language will lead you to greater confidence. Up next, we'll explore additional resources to further enhance your learning experience. So, let's keep up the momentum. Continuing our course, let's discuss valuable resources that can enhance your study of personal pronouns. Now that you have a good grasp of the concepts we've covered, these tools will help you reinforce your learning and practice what you've learned in engaging ways. First, online interactive exercises are a fantastic way to apply your knowledge. Many platforms offer multiple-choice questions, fill-in-the-blank activities, and instant feedback with detailed explanations. This means that when you make a mistake, you can immediately see where you went wrong and learn from it. Isn't it great to have that instant feedback? It's like having a personal tutor available at any time. Next, consider exploring educational videos. There are numerous YouTube channels dedicated to teaching English, where you can watch clear explanations and practical examples of personal pronouns. Listening to native speakers pronounce these pronouns correctly can help you master your own pronunciation. Notice how hearing the words used in context can make them stick in your memory much more effectively. Additionally, I recommend looking for printable materials. Free PDFs are often available that include tables of personal pronouns, practical exercises, and answer keys. These can be incredibly useful for studying offline whenever you find a bit of spare time, like during your commute or while waiting in line. It's interesting to see how different formats can cater to different learning styles. As we prepare to wrap up this section, think about how you can incorporate these resources into your study routine. Regular practice with these tools will not only solidify your understanding, but will also boost your confidence in using personal pronouns. In our next slide, we will summarize everything we've learned so far and prepare for the final steps in your English learning journey. Let's keep the momentum going. Moving forward in our journey, let's recap the essential points we've covered about personal pronouns. Understanding these pronouns is crucial because they help us avoid unnecessary repetition in our communication. Instead of repeating names or objects, we can effectively use pronouns to keep our conversations flowing smoothly. We've learned that personal pronouns fall into two main categories: subject pronouns and object pronouns. Subject pronouns, like I, you, and he, indicate who is performing the action. For instance, in the sentence, I read a book, I is the subject doing the reading. On the other hand, object pronouns such as me, you, and him show who is receiving the action. For example, in she gave me a gift, me is receiving the gift. It's interesting to observe how these categories work together to create clear and effective sentences. By mastering both types, you can express yourself more precisely in English. Now, let's not forget the importance of consistent practice. Engaging with personal pronouns every day is fundamental. Think about it as building a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Try using them in your daily conversations or writing. Whether you're chatting with friends or jotting down your thoughts, applying what you've learned will help you internalize these pronouns. Mastering personal pronouns is a significant milestone in your English learning journey. It opens up new avenues for clear communication, making your speech sound more natural. As we prepare for the next slide, get ready to put all this knowledge into practice. We'll be working on some engaging exercises to test your understanding and solidify your skills. Let's keep going. Now that we've recapped the essential concepts of personal pronouns, let's look at the next steps in your learning journey. You've built a solid foundation, and it's time to expand your knowledge even further. First, let's talk about deepening your understanding of different pronouns. We will explore possessive pronouns, like mine and yours, as well as demonstrative pronouns, such as this, that, these, and those. These pronouns will help you express ownership and specify items in conversation, making your communication even clearer. Can you imagine how using these new pronouns can enhance your ability to describe things in your daily life? Next, to consolidate what you've learned, it's essential to engage in various exercises. Think of this as putting your knowledge to the test, whether it's filling out worksheets, taking quizzes, or even writing sentences using different pronouns. These activities are crucial for internalizing the content. It's interesting to see how the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll feel with these pronouns in real conversations. Finally, let's emphasize the importance of applying what you've learned in real-life situations. Practicing conversation using personal pronouns will make you more fluent and confident. Picture yourself chatting with a friend or participating in a group discussion. The ability to use pronouns effectively will help your communication flow naturally. As we approach the final slide, remember that each of these steps is vital for your growth in English. The more you practice and apply your knowledge, the more proficient you will become. So, let's keep moving forward and prepare for our final exercise together. As we reach the end of our journey together, let's take a moment to practice everything you've learned about personal pronouns. This is a great way to reinforce your understanding and ensure you can apply these concepts confidently. I'll ask you a few questions, and I encourage you to think about your answers before I reveal them. First, what is the subject pronoun for we? That's right, it's we. This simple word is crucial for expressing collective actions and feelings. Now, let's move on to the second question. How would you replace Maria in the sentence, I saw Maria? The answer is, I saw her. This substitution helps you avoid repetition and makes your speech smoother. Finally, when should you use it? It is used for objects, animals, and abstract ideas. This versatility is important as it allows you to refer to things without constantly naming them. Thank you so much for your participation and dedication throughout this course. You've worked hard, and I hope you feel a sense of accomplishment. Remember, the knowledge you've gained about personal pronouns is not just for this course. It's a valuable tool you can apply in your everyday conversations. I encourage you to continue practicing. Review the material whenever you need to refresh your memory, and don't hesitate to engage with the resources we discussed. As you move forward, keep in mind that learning English is a journey that opens up many opportunities. Every step you take brings you closer to fluency. Congratulations on completing this course. Keep learning and exploring the wonderful world of English. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.